Imagine watching your entire childhood burn. Not because of fate, not because of bad luck, but because of the one person who was supposed to protect you. Now imagine spending the next 18 years quietly, patiently crafting a revenge so devastating. It destroys everything she has left. Hi, my name is Mark's brother, and this is the story of how I made the woman who ruined my life beg for my help, and then told her she'd die alone. And if you've ever been underestimated, hurt, dismissed, or if someone tried to crush your childhood the way mine was crushed, hit that like button. Subscribe for more true stories of justice, karma, and survival. Because today's story, it's one you'll remember for the rest of your life. I don't remember much from being 2 years old, but I do remember the moment everything changed. The day my baby brother, Mark, was born. Most kids get jealous. Most kids cry. But my mother, she decided I wasn't her son anymore. From the age of 2, she sent me away, dumped me onto my grandparents like I was some defective toy. She told people I was a demonic hell spawn, while she held her newborn like he was the second coming of Jesus. But my grandparents loved me. They taught me to be gentle, patient, kind. They taught me to care for Mark instead of resent him. And I did. I loved that kid more than anything. But none of that mattered to her. To her, I was a mistake, the inconvenience, the child she regretted. And trust me, that does something to a kid. Fast forward, I'm 13 years old. My mother remarried a man who believed pain was a form of parenting. Every time I questioned something, every time I had an opinion, every time I dared to show personality, I got beaten. I remember once when I was 11, a full bookcase fell on me. I lay there stunned, barely breathing. My mother didn't check on me. She didn't care. I learned 2 things that day. Pain was normal. One day, I'd make her feel it too. Because even at 13, a seed of revenge took root inside me. A tiny whisper that said, just wait. But nothing prepared me for the moment that shattered our world. Alicia, my baby sister, 2 years old, curious, sweet, always smiling. My mother told Mark and me to watch her while she slept off exhaustion with the newborn, Sam. My stepdad was playing video games, ignoring everything, business as usual. But suddenly, something felt wrong. Where's Alicia? I asked, no answer. And then panic hit, like someone had punched me straight in the stomach. We tore through the house, searched every room, screamed her name. Nothing. My dad, who was visiting, burned his hand on the stove in chaos. We ran outside. We didn't even think to check the pool. But when the screams came, when my mother shrieked from the deck, we knew. I saw my baby sister lying there, blue, still, silent. My mother trying and failing to perform CPR. My stepdad sobbing. My father dragging Mark and me away, so we wouldn't see more. The paramedics took her, but she never woke up. They unplugged her that night, and something inside me died with her. Child Protective Services arrived days later. My father launched a custody battle. He actually won for a while. I thought things were turning around, but my grandparents believed we belonged with our mother. They fought back, and somehow she got us again. I wish to God she hadn't, because 3 years later when I was 18, my little brother Mark, the boy I had loved more than anything, was found dead, pain medications, an overdose. He was supposed to be supervised, watched, protected, but my mother was too busy being herself. And when I saw the stretcher, the body bag, the paramedics, I swear the world went silent. My grandparents wept. My father broke down. And I felt the seed of revenge inside me ignite. 2 siblings dead, 1 taken by CPS. My childhood erased, my life shattered. And my mother, she cried for a week, then went right back to the same selfish woman she'd always been. That was the day I made a promise. I will ruin you. I will make you suffer, not with fists, not with rage, but with patience. My grandfather was the only man who ever truly loved me. He taught me everything. How to work, how to survive, how to be a man. But he was too kind, too forgiving. My mother exploited that kindness every chance she got. So I started small, petty, but effective. When she demanded something, I challenged her. When she manipulated my grandparents, I intervened. When she tried to be the center of attention, I cut through her lies. I wanted her to break, to snap, to show the monster she was. She didn't, but she cried often. Then fate stepped in. She slipped at work, herniated discs, severe back injuries. And yes, I smiled, because this was my first real opening. After her injury, she came home with bottles of pain medication, and every day, I hid them. Sometimes I tossed them. Sometimes I buried them in random places she'd never look. She suffered, day and night, agony on her face. And if that makes me cruel, fine. Cruelty is something I learned from her. Months later, she got into a car accident. Police found her full of prescription drugs. She was arrested for DUI, 6 months in jail. And the day I heard the news, I laughed, not because jail is funny, but because karma had finally looked her in the eyes. When she got out, things were worse for her. Good. My grandparents let her live with us again, but I'd already taken her room, moved her stuff into storage, and turned her living space into my gaming room. She slept on the couch. Every day she struggled to stand, metal bars digging into her back. I enjoyed every moment. She deserved worse. Years passed. I got into college, got a job, started building my life. Meanwhile, she convinced my grandparents to buy drugs for her illegally, claiming it was for her pain. I warned them it was stupid, dangerous, illegal. They didn't listen. So I did the one thing I could. I filed an anonymous tip with law enforcement. Nothing came of it, but I kept hiding her meds anyway. Childish? Maybe. But every little frustration was another grain of sand in the hourglass ticking down to her destruction. 13 long years passed since Mark died. 13 years of watching my mother ruin everything she touched. My grandfather passed away, my last true parent. My grandmother's health declined. Her dog died months later. My mother blew through her inheritance. Broke, useless, desperate. And then, the moment I had been waiting for arrived. I visited my grandmother, and my mother, with hollow eyes and the audacity only a narcissist can possess, asked me, "Will you take care of me after Grandma passes? It's your duty as my son." Duty? My duty? I stood up, looked her dead in the eyes, and let every ounce of hatred I had carried for 31 years burn through me. Then I spoke the most satisfying sentence of my life. "You get nothing from me." She froze. I continued, "Grandma is going into a retirement home. I'm moving states. You destroyed my life. You killed my siblings through neglect. You abused me. You broke the law. You made everyone's life hell. You will die alone, and I will laugh." My grandmother gasped. My mother burst into tears, collapsed shaking, and I walked away. That day, I didn't just get revenge. I got closure. I got my life back. In 3 months, my grandmother will be in her retirement home, and I'll be gone. New job, new state, new future. My mother, she will be homeless, alone, destitute, not because fate was cruel, not because I sought evil, but because she earned every second of it. And for the first time in my life, I feel free. So here's my message to anyone listening. If you have siblings, cherish them, love them, protect them, because you never know how fast you can lose them, or how long revenge can take to finally taste sweet. The story ends not with violence, but with a sentence. 7 words that destroyed a lifetime of manipulation. "You will die alone and I will laugh." That was the day the victim became the victor. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes revenge isn't dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is no, and walk away forever. If the story shook you, if it made you angry, emotional, or even gave you a chill, hit that like button, drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? and subscribe for more real-life stories that prove karma might show up late, but it never forgets.